I'm sure they've got to have 3 checked and ready for this one as we get into picks and bans for game number 2. So far, we've got 2.
Yeah, I was told that they were deliberating about the ban the entire time, and they missed it, like you said before. So it was a missed ban. It was not an intentional move.
Let's see if Echo Fox can one-up Valve and count to 3 with this ban. So far, Trundle and Kindred. And will Anivia banned away from Froggen, and they will ban out Rise. So, getting rid of that very strong scaling champion, along with 2 mid laners, potentially 3, depending on where that Vlad goes, banned away from Echo Fox. But that means that Shen gets through, and we know KFO likes that champ.
Yep, it was a champion that was banned away last game. It was ending up being dropped for Apex picking up the Vladimir ban.
Yeah, in answer though, Swain is still available along with Rek'Sai. Shrimp very comfortable on that Rek'Sai. But we'll see how Apex decide to adapt to it. Ray. Instead of Jax, they might be looking for another unkillable top laner in Swain.
They have to find something that can go up against the Shen.
Yeah.
Jax and Aurelia, not the greatest times against Shen, because he ends up shredding them, building tanky, does % HP damage. They don't build resistances until about 2nd, 3rd item. And he has a dodge zone.
Yeah.
And they're all basically auto attack damage.
That dodge zone is pretty important, but it's going to be Karma locked in for Apex. Shrimp taking a little bit more of a carry style jungler on that Nidalee in answer.
Yeah, I'm kind of sad that when Shrimp ended up coming into the LCS, he wasn't able to body people the same way and build his offensive Rek'Sai, so he's going more for the teamwork. Nidalee, I think he also still has a little bit more of a team-oriented build, but he'll be able to carry a little bit harder here.
Echo Fox now going for their next 2 picks. Hecarim and Nami locked in hard. Going to be very mobile on that Ghost style Hecarim, whereas Big is taking the Nami on support.
Yeah, Hard though did give up First Blood last game because he lacked a flash when he got invaded in on.
Yeah.
And just had the Ghost and even blew that early as well. So we'll see how that works out for him in this game. The Hecarim pick can be rather oppressive, and I do like what Fox is doing because Apex drafted Disengage and Poke. Immediately, get it hard engage and just try to make it even better. So when you see people who want to disengage and you see some Poke, you don't have to drafting just one engage form is kind of bad. Drafting multiple engage forms is how you counter it, and you just keep getting more and more, and you kind of thwart the strategy and make them think twice about it.
Apex now looking for their next 2 on red side. They have counter pick available, but Fiora being hovered for Ray.
I think you go Fiora here because she's one of the less auto attack dependent top lane carries. She's more about that vital and the burst damage and Q. So she can still blow up a Shen, whereas Aurelia and Jax, the dodge zone really shuts them down.
Meanwhile, Ezreal gonna give some mobility to Apollo. If he ever gets caught out by a Shen or a Hecarim, he can just hop away with a quick arcane shift. Gonna be pretty tricky to lock that down, plus Karma for some added mobility, so Apex gonna be moving awfully quick. And now it's up to Echo Fox, looking at an AD carry and a mid laner for Froggen and Keith.
Keith will probably end up going with the Lucian, but I would love to see a Caitlyn Nami lane. We haven't seen a Caitlyn in a good while. She kind of fell off the map a bit, but I still think she's really oppressive. She allows you to siege. She helps prevent sieges as well.
She can do quite a bit.
The synergy's really good as well. Bubble trap, trap bubble.
Getting down to the last few seconds.
Okay.
Looks like Keith looking at returning to that Jhin and Victor. We talked about huge damage last game, but Froggen now on that Victor, that might become an even bigger number.
Yeah, and this gives him a little bit more freedom because the Azir, you have to be really far in the back line, and then when you go forward, it's just that gigantic risk. And if you are a huge part of your team's damage, you could really get blown up and caught out. Yeah. But now he's on a champion that helps him get forward, movement speed, allows him to go towards this team that wants to disengage, and you can blow up these squishies if you ever do make contact with them. So I like that pick. I like the Jhin because the Jhin is going to have longer range catch potential over the Caitlyn, which I was suggesting. Both snipers, but Jhin, honestly, a little bit more of the superior one.
Yeah.
Caitlyn's more of a trapper now and works more on like defensive teams, but this is a great offensive option here. The curtain call for the pick, the engage, they're just doubling down on that even harder.
3 supports being looked at by Special, but he decides to return to that Braum. Maybe getting hopeful for another Rift Herald, and that means it's going to be Karma in the mid lane.
So yep, Karma in the mid lane for Keen up against Victor. I'll watch his build. I'm not a fan of the Athenes that I've been seeing from some mid laners. Kind of think it's a big no-no on her because the AP and the investment's just not worth it. Mid laners, it's really good to get those big beefy items, not the low AP items. We'll see what he goes with, but yes, Special rounding out the composition. It's Poke for Apex with Disengage, and then it's all about Ray in the top lane. So expect the Rift Herald to be focused by Apex, and honestly, Shrimp should be focusing that top lane early on. It'll be hard to kill the Shen, but it's still the lane that you want to focus and get an advantage in. Everything else can kind of go even, and you'll be fine. He's the strat.
Trying to upset that Fiora, or upset that Shen, so that Fiora can do well. So it's up to Echo Fox now. They have been lacking a little bit of leadership over the past weekend. Yeah, this team might be the one that can do it. But rock the vote. Get on Twitter and send out hashtag FOXWin or hashtag APXWin to call out the winner of this game. Last time, everybody thought it was Apex who were going to win with 53% to the 47 of Echo Fox. And now in game 2, different comps, different teams, different styles.
Yeah, I actually really like it when it's a disengage into engage team because the engage team is always going to try to fight and the disengage team is always going to try to back off. So you're going to have people dying, whether it's the failed engages or it's the
failed disengages.
Failed disengages. Exactly.
But getting right onto the Rift. Nope. There is a pause before the Summoner Gates even go down.
But we are on the Rift. But
yes.
Seems to be a pause here. It looks like it's a Shrimp from what I'm seeing. Having some sort of issue. And discussing it.
Yeah, currently talking over that. So, okay. So let's talk about this a little bit. Echo Fox in the last game didn't exactly have a lot of opportunities to group up and play around that Azir until it was too late.
Yeah, I think that the missed opportunity of the teleport was the big one for me, is where KFO didn't teleport in and Jax did, and that was a huge turning point in the game. Because they could have played relatively safe and just waited for Froggen to scale up. He did so much damage. We saw in that final team fight where Froggen was still like trying to clean up.
Yeah.
People were backing to go into the fountain when they had way more HP than Froggen did, and he held his ground, and they were cowards. They retreated. Yeah. They retreated. They left their leader out to dry. He ended up going down, and then that was really the last part of the cleanup of the fight where Keith is like, okay, well, now I can go in. But it's like, you really should have had KFO and like.
But now the juxtaposition in this game, if in the last one they weren't able to group up and fight, this time it's all about grouping up and fight. Mm-hmm. You've got Hecarim, Victor, and Shen to catch people out, and Jhin to engage from long distances. So Echo Fox, they said, you know what, we had trouble with this in the last game, we'll just double down on it.
And it's a keyboard issue for Shrimp. The tab button is stuck, and you can see the technician trying to turn it off and then back on again.
Ensuring that keyboard actually works. It is going to be interesting to see how that works out, because Apex, they have taken, as you said, a sort of disengage poke style composition if they can kite that around.
Yeah, it's all about the kiting for Apex and keeping Ray in a good position above KFO. KFO, though, he does have ways to get into these fights and really destroy that backline with the Shen, because Hard will be able to deliver him there. You have to watch out for the Nami wave. You have to watch out for the curtain call. There's so many things that Apex have to consider. And when you're playing an engage comp versus a disengage split push comp, the burden of execution is on the disengage comp, because kind of inferior numbers. It's a 4-on-5 most of the time. And also the fact that that disengage has to be almost perfect, because they have so many forms of engage on the side of Fox that it becomes really difficult.
It certainly is. But for that, we're actually going to get into some bonus coverage for our other game. Currently, 1,000 gold lead.
I would have much rather seen a Randuin's with that next set of items. But
maybe Frozen Heart even.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Yeah, I mean, there is math to be had for like how much you get from the 20%. It's like, okay, well, I'll heal more. It'll benefit my Hydra lifesteal. It'll benefit my passive. It'll benefit my ultimate.
Yeah.
At a certain point, it's just better than armor. I don't know the numbers on hand, and it's debatable. But it would be so much better if he's like against Lysandra, because it would just be an obvious win.
I agree. Although, like, and this is another one of those games where COG, it's 23 minutes in, it doesn't look like they've made huge ground. They're only up 1,000 gold. but you're kind of just waiting for them to break the game open because it's constantly Phoenix 1 who is kind of on the back foot, and COG's waiting on these item timings. They kind of have them now, especially if Huhi finishes his death cap and Darshan finishes basically second black clear of the team, because they're able to pressure in all of the matchups. Like every single one of the matchups, even though the gold is close, is still favoring COG in one way or the other.
Yeah, I absolutely agree, and we'll see if outscaling even happens here in this one. Darshan doing some damage to Zig, and look at that, down to half HP from a simple trade, and walks right back out. Darshan stacking up his fervor quite nicely. Look at the damage on this turret. Both the side turrets going down. Darshan in the outright 1v1, just bullying Zig off the lane. This top is going to be going down as well. CLG just completely, look, it hits 20x minutes, and shocking, CLG starting to take everything over the map.
Yeah, they're neutralizing. Here's the game. Oh, Afro has to flash away.
Missed ulti by Gate, though. Looks like the tornado delayed him long enough that he had still aimed up that way and just completely whiffed an Afro. He had to flash out, though, as well. So, there's a Summoner Spell lost by CLG's support. Darshan gets to steal away a blue buff, though, so he's going to have infinite mana.
Yeah,
CDR, he's going to feel good.
the map pressure COG has is pretty huge right now, and P1 is taking a lot of damage while trying to get vision back. Here comes the duel attempt.
Jeez. He flashes Darshan, just cues over the wall and goes, yeah, you're still gone.
Yeah. When Trundle ults you and then runs away, you know you're doing something right.
Yes. You can see that matchup definitely going Darshan's way. Now a Baron attempt by Counter Logic Gaming pretty early on. Trying to get Phoenix 1 to fight them there. They are missing the Braum ultimate, which is a good time to go for this.
Really just going for a fight here. Stixxay took a lot of damage.
Dangerously low, and Smithy as well. Thankfully for him, away from the Chaos Storm, though. Mash does not get knocked up. Looking for Huhi. Plenty of damage there. After to reset it a little bit, but look how low Smithy is. Repels away from the rocket jump, and Gate gets him away out. Ooh, that was close, but Mash does get the kill with his ultimate.
Yeah, really tense moment of the game right here because COG needs to recall on Huhi, but Darshan is getting a lot of work done. Zig and the rest of Phoenix 1 is going to try and burst down Baron, but at 25 minutes, that takes really long, and there's still Stixxay alive with double shielders coming in. This is risky for Phoenix 1.
3v5 for the Baron. There's no smite available. Picked up cleanly by Inori now for the re-engage.
They get it.
CLG have to run, though. Darshan is in a bit of danger. The slows are going to land. They'll get the stun, and why even bother going for that? You had no chance to steal CLG, giving away a kill and giving away what could have been lane control.
Yeah, CLG go for the full collapse on Baron without a steal, and Darshan doesn't even finish off the top lane inhibitor, so that becomes a huge win for Phoenix 1.
Big mistake out of Counter Logic Gaming going for that play at all, and yeah, opportunity cost inhibitor. Another kill for Phoenix 1, and a Baron means they're in a much better spot now.
Yeah, the idea for that play, as far as I'm concerned, was CLG trying to use a bunch of shields on Baron to bait a fight in. But we're going to get to see the replay of them trying to stop Phoenix 1. Phoenix 1 is in here, and Darshan could have finished off the inhibitor, but clearly the call is made to double TP and try and stop it. Gravity Field zones them out, and Stixxay just can't get in to do enough damage. Neither can Darshan, and then once Baron goes down, it's not like Phoenix 1 was actually that low from the Baron. Olaf and Trundle can beast that thing down without taking very much damage. Darshan gets stunned by the Braum, and the rest of COG just have to retreat.
Yeah, so a big miscue by Counter Logic Gaming, and now Infernal Drake is up for Phoenix 1.
And Darshan's not even there. Right,
yeah.
He's pushing the top side. And
neither top laner has teleport, though, so they both have to run down to do this. And actually, Darshan's going to stay, so as soon as Zig arrives... Oh, look at that play, though! Stixxay going huge,
Stixxay?
but gets punished for it. He wanted to make a game-saving play, knock down the support, get away, buy some time. Instead, just dies, and Counter Logic Gaming keep just throwing away gold.
Yeah, big misplay by Stixxay there. But at the same time, we're looking at the COG composition. Who's going to provide backline threat? Who's going to finish off kills? It kind of has to be Stixxay. Just not like that. Take the poke, back away. Do not dash into 5 people.
Yeah, he thought it was like the Game 5 of the NA Finals, and no, it's not the same
Not going to
thing.
reset on Lucian.
It was close.
It was very close, but even if he gets it, what's his escape plan? He had burned his summoners to kind of get in, so...
I think his idea was like, Darshan was splitting, right? Darshan was still top lane, so it was a 4v5 of some kind. Like, you take a Baron buff away, you trade kills, you buy time. Like, I actually think that can be a good play. Just like trading a kill like that seems reasonable. Mash, Gonna try for the play. Knockback is there. It's a 1v2. He's exhausted. This shouldn't be much for him. Then a shutdown goes through. Smithy grabs it. Do Rebel for him, but look at the splitting, though. Yeah. Mash as split pusher means Phoenix 1 goes mid, knocks the turret down.
And I gotta say, if this happens again, Phoenix 1 will be the masters of the random Game 2 victory, because that's actually been all of their game wins, has been in Game 2. Darshan tried to stun Pyrian with his own gravity field there, but couldn't get the shot off.
I think he mistimed the W. It was a little bit too early. He got pulled back in after the W went through, if I saw that one correctly.
Yeah, I'm wondering if that's
I actually don't know the interaction, because it might stop the
Yeah.
Victor stacking. Hold on, no,
Gate.
yeah, Gate again being attacked by the culling, and looks like Australia training enough to keep him from going down. Goes away and stays alive just barely.
Yeah.
A bit of poke on a Zig. CLG, though, unwilling to stop fighting. Mash is dead for the next few seconds, which means CLG wanted so, but now the re-engage for 650. Rocket belts away, and they're going to get out. It's actually kind of funny. Sorry, go ahead.
No, keep going.
It's funny that Victor is still buying Rileys, because now the ulti only takes every 2 seconds, not every half second. So you don't perma-slow anymore.
Right.
It is actually worse on Victor's kit than it was before. And it's still the common build. I'm not saying it's wrong, it's just worse.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing, actually, because, at least in my opinion, if he was actually upgrading his hex score to 3,
That'd be better.
the Chaos Storm is faster, and because it's more about the tick damage than the upfront damage like it used to be, the absolute amount of slowing you get out of the ultimate is now less, but it's more valuable to have a chance of keeping them inside of it, which is, I
Right.
think, why the Rylai's, the core build is the triple upgrade to make it faster and the Rylai's to make it slow, so you can get multiple ticks off.
But in that order, I think, right?
Exactly. You should almost always get the third upgrade first, so I feel like Pyrion's build is a little bit off right now.
I actually really agree. There's so much of, like, the third upgrade is actually the best one. It gives you more stats than the other ones. Now, look at this, Sonori going and taking up, and that's going to be another turret going down. Even though Baron has basically timed off as Phoenix 1 by now, look at this, a late-game gold lead against Counter Logic Gaming. Phoenix 1 looking good now in Game 2.
Yeah, Phoenix 1 has taken Game 2s off of Cloud9, Apex, and Energy. And
Welcome back, everyone. We're about to get right back into our match as this pause resolves, but CLG giving a little bit of trouble in that game, too.
Yeah, Phoenix won. I mean, they have a Nori back. They've been practicing with him, so it's exciting to see. But at the same time, CLG, they've been slumping, and it's kind of a really unprecedented slump because they came back from MSI, and honestly, not too much had changed at the start, and then people were still kind of figuring out the meta together. But still, back into this game because Shrimp got a new keyboard.
He did. So, Shrimp keyboard solution fixed. Get a second. And Apex are going to race out of base now. Successfully able to check the scoreboard. Pretty important.
Yep. And the players were allowed to talk during the pause because it was so early in the game as well, and the pause was so long. So, able to communicate during that time.
Yeah, a lot of opportunity to rehash the strategy of those two and talk about potential item buys or item paths. We'll see if that comes into effect. As so far, the invade from Apex looks for a hardened KFO.
They're going to try to kill it when it comes around the corner. Hey!
1, 2, 3. Yeah, secured.
And Shrimp's going to put one down anyway. But that one's not going to actually see all the way to the wall. So if you hug the wall, it won't spot you.
Minor trade-offs. Echo Fox have got to know that, so they'll probably play around it. There are some wards now on Keith, some pings, as he did go for deep ward on his own. And Ray actually is able to clear out the ward that Keith dropped. That was inside of vision of the tier 2 turret. So Apex could look for a swap if they were so inclined and try to dodge this vision, whereas Keith, oh, he's going to walk right on top of it. Yep.
Oh.
It seems like it keeps coming back to the communication.
Yeah.
They have the opportunities and options open to them.
I mean, maybe it's one of those, I want them to see that I'm doing this.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe that's a little too much credit, but
We are declaring this as a lane swap. Hard will get some assistance on his Gromp as Xpecial and Apollo collapse onto KFO.
yeah,
Whereas-
KFO needs to get out of there.
Yeah, Ray already starting off with the double jungle isn't even going to pretense that he's going to lane for a little bit.
KFO also forced to start Taunt. So his Shadow Dash leveled up first. Not really what you want as Shen in the slightest.
Yeah, Ray now teleporting to catch up. So too is KFO. And yeah, looks like standard lane swap stuff. They're going to try to rush down these turrets. We'll keep an eye on the junglers. Nidalee, very quick at clearing. Might see if she could go for an invade or possibly a gank.
It's interesting because you actually got the jungle on your weak side. You can see right now Shrimp gonna go run over to the other side, and he might actually catch hard. Ooh, Hecarim's first clear is a little bit slow. He's blue to buff dependent, and yeah, he's gonna be able to triple buff him. And hey,
Shrimp lands a spear and tries to bully him out. So this is a triple buff start for Shrimp.
Yeah, both hard starts here have been really bad for junglers. Like, first one was the invade. It's really unfortunate for him. And then this one, it's triple buff because he doesn't go over to the other side, and they didn't invade on the top side because they were leashing for him. Usually your support and your jungler will actually, or your support and AD carry will at least maybe invade to go check it on that top side. Because it's not like they started that red buff. They started on Krugs. And try to force him off so you get two, or else if you don't, this is what happens.
Minor advantage.
Okay, see, he goes to check that red buff and it's gone. So this is where Hard figures out he got triple buffed and he's a level down.
Once again, Echo Fox having a bit of difficulty. Special and Shrimp.
Yeah, they're hanging out here. If he gets the root off, they're gonna try to follow it up and see what happens.
Oh, he
They start moving.
drops the tether. There's the gravity field. Flash, Winter's Bite, Special tanking a few hits.
Oh, needed one more
Spear
auto attack there.
misses.
Froggen decides not to flash, not to heal, to get out of it. Keeps his cool. And they use the exhaust and the flash from Special.
And this is almost exactly the same
Yeah.
gank we saw in game number 1.
Froggen's like a jungler's favorite mid laner right now because he's avoiding the ganks, dodging them, and then you get to go, ha, I know where they are, let's go. You go somewhere else. Go create pressure on the map. Avoid all of those bad guys. And it doesn't happen.
Instead, Hard is going to be catching his own CS in the jungle. Once again, Ray, just a little bit faster to catch up with his duo, is going to group up with Apollo and Special, whereas Keith and Big are on their own so far for taking down that turret. So might be a bit of an advantage for Apex as they will try to push this down, despite Echo Fox getting there first. And even a call picked up for Ray, so he's looking for that very late game Fiora.
He's looking to get a burst for his mid game. Cull helps you complete your second item faster. Usually goes off by then. Your first item is usually completed by the time that you have it pop. Now we're going to look for these bounces if they happen. Fox may have to wait another wave. It might be right on time because Jhin. Yeah, so Fox is going to have theirs right on time. Oh, awesome.
Yeah, so that is going to be solo gold over to Ray. Echo Fox do not get to split the gold as they push down their turret. So Apex, once again, playing to their strengths, play to Ray. After the performance he gave in game number 1, no reason not to try in this next one on Fiora. He's actually down just a little bit because some of that CS was gifted over to Apollo during the course of that lane swap. And mid laners continue farming it out. Despite that gank that Froggen suffered, the early recall forced him to miss a handful of CS.
Yeah, it's not that bad though because his early recall allows him to get his upgrade so he can have his death ray and continue to keep pressure on this lane.
Special headbutting a ward to death. Secures it. Once again, early Cloud Drake on the map. So game looking very similar to the previous one despite the different compositions.
Echo Fox just want to farm up until they can all have their level 6s and some item spikes. I would say even one item would be enough for these guys to start forcing the issue.
There's a lot of vision on Echo Fox's bottom side of the map. They're going to spot out Shrimp as he invades. And Hard's even on that side of the map as well, so just trying to control vision, let Keith farm it up, try to let Keith get big.
Why would he want to get his own support?
Large in size.
Oh, okay.
Become huge so that he can kill people.
But speaking of getting big, double bubble.
Spear is going to find Keith despite the double bubble. He takes a lot and is forced to flash away.
Yeah, flashes, doesn't use his heal, and honestly, it was a great bubble from Big. You would want to go aggressive there, but Shrimp was off on the wings. And just a moment ago, Hard was on this side of the jungle. You were talking about it, and then he leaves, and he's handing off the blue buff to Froggen. That's why he's on the other side of the map.
And the potential freeze that Echo Fox could have set up in that lane immediately gets broken.
Yeah, Hard should go either contest the Drake, or he should go do the red buff of Shrimp right now, because he saw Shrimp bottom side. You go do the other buff.
Oh.
You go do the other buff.
There he goes. Oh.
You go do the buff. Or you can do the Raptors too. Raptors are fine.
I mean...
But he chooses to do the Raptors because it's safer, because he kind of doubts that he got there in time. He's like, okay, it's been a little bit, but he just saw the Drake go down too. And he decides not to. He had the timer on that because he checked it earlier. And now he's going to lose his own red buff.
To Shrimp. Is he going to triple buff him a second time?
He might. I think he might. Like, I'm going to want to see the percentage of buffs in the entire game that Shrimp has secured.
Well, so far, the one blue buff was gifted over to Froggen.
One was over to Froggen, one went to Hard.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, now blue buff being gifted over to Keen by Apex. So, despite Echo Fox having a minor gold lead from putting KFO in the solo lane for so long, Ray has had some difficulty catching up. He's actually down 2 levels and about 25 CS. Even Apollo's being gifted this large minion wave. Apex not playing around Ray so much this game as...
they're waiting for that wave bottom to make its way to him because it's a pretty decently sized wave, a lot of casters in there, and
yeah, Hard is on this way as well, so I'm not so sure that Ray will be able to set up a freeze if Echo Fox try to shove in and push for that tier 2.
KFO to the mid lane though.
Ooh, Keen misses. He gets caught by the taunt. There's a laser. He gets chunked down to about half, but doesn't burn any summoners.
Yeah, not full dedication there from Echo Fox. No ultimate, no Chaos Storm from Froggen. And it's kind of like KFO's just passing through. They're all going to go bottom. They want to deny this gigantic wave. 5-man the bot lane.
Yeah, 4 people trying to bully Ray away from this wave of
Victor's
minions.
coming too, so it's going to be 5 strong? No, he's turning back now.
Yeah. Ray trying to dodge and catch up as best he can, especially even going to show up.
Oh, even if it goes to Shrimp, it's still not going to Ray, and that's where you say worth it. Like, the jungler actually just helped you out there a little bit. And now they're looking for the hard engage. They're looking to throw.
Ooh, curtain call. 2 bullets, 1 bullet. Finds Keen. There's the second.
Oh, hit Apollo.
Minor damage, still very early on. He only has double longsword in the call.
He's got longswords. He's sitting on 1,600 gold, so he could actually upgrade to the Dirk and then buy some more longswords on top of it, because he looks like he's going for the armor penetration build here. If he turns it into a Caulfield's Warhammer, then he's maybe going for the Essence Reaver.
So Shrimp did just secure that red buff. That's the second time he's tripled buff Hard in this game.
So 2 of the 8 buffs have gone over to Echo Fox so far.
Something we've been criticizing Echo Fox for is the fact that they consistently play around Ray in the solo lane. Well, this time, seems like they might be able to play around Shrimp as he could be collapsed upon and walks right into KFO. Eats a taunt. X-Special's trying to get over there. Shrimp flashes the wall. There's the heal and a laser. First blood for Froggen.
Froggen coming in from the mid lane there, gets himself first blood. Now they can play around him a little bit more. He's been down in CS, but he's been roaming quite a bit here, trying to like juke to the side lane. His wave clear is a little bit worse right now, but he is hitting these breakpoints where he can clear caster minions instantly, so expect him to catch up.
We just got a sneak preview of the damage that Victor is going to be doing late game. And Echo Fox actually group up in the mid lane. Keen has teleport, but decides to walk it back, and as a result, the turret takes some pretty hefty chip damage and is brought down to half before Keen can get there. There he goes, finally going to be able to clear out most of these. Ooh, missed that one. Keen's trying to go just a little bit aggressive. Froggen stops the back. Very optimistic recall, and Big gets the brunt of Apex's damage.
X-Special just gets to ulti there, and Apollo ultis as well, and Big just gets blown up. Like, he was kind of protecting Froggen because Froggen was backing in a really dangerous spot, but has no business being there.
Yeah, Apex answer with some chip damage of their own on the way back. 1 bullet finds Keen. Oh, they're at pretty low health. They've got to line this up. Everyone's trying to hide behind Shrimp. The 4th bullet. Oh, finds Apollo, but he bent it. Apex continue to push forward. They might be looking to break this tier 1 very early on. Bubble is going to catch the minions, but not the people hitting the turret. Oh. And Keith is forced to flash out as well.
The wave clear was back. They knew that Froggen wasn't going to be there, so they shove up. They get the mid turret. Apex take a 1,000 gold lead, and they shove Keith out as well. So now they've backed off Froggen once, they backed off Keith once, and the side laners have just been doing their own thing the entire time, just trying to get to CS. Kind of top lane islands.
Yeah. It's now evening up a bit. Ray is catching up, but he's still down a level, and blue buff now being gifted over to Froggen. Oh, his red is spawning. Let's see if Hard is going to head over to that side of the map, or if Keith is going to take it.
We'll see, but
I mean, the next Drake is spawning in 40 seconds.
yeah.
You can already see Apollo and Xpecial on this side of the map.
Nope. Looks like Rift Herald may be a target here.
Yeah.
Nobody checks this brush, though, to look if it has a pink ward or not. And now you can see Apex are trying to come down here. It's going to take a little bit longer than Echo Fox want it to.
Xpecial gets a ward over the wall.
They'll get it down to like 1,800 or like...
Shrimp is trying to catch up. They're not hitting the eye. Ray teleports in and says, that Rift Herald is mine. Keen is going to pick up the kill. There's a chair. Froggen gets dropped before anyone can save him. 2 kills to Apex.
You're doing the Rift Herald. You didn't check on your way there, not even with like a sweeper or anything. And Apex come in, they get some clean kills. They're gonna pick up the Rift Herald here as well. Because it's honestly really sloppy from Echo Fox to try and attempt the Rift Herald like that.
Yeah, smite secure. Ray picks up the Rift Herald. In my head, Ray was sitting back at base like, my Rift Herald sense is tingling. The enemy must be trying to bully it down. Yeah, he's at the next right now.
Yeah, Froggen finds it finally. He goes, oh, guys, by the way. So teleport comes through.
Oh, wow.
Big gets blown up. And then the ultimate from KFO comes through. But they had already killed 2.
And Apex, as you can see on your minimap, are invading into Hard's jungle once again. Poor guy cannot get a break. 20 CS down this game, and now the second Cloud Drake being started out by Apex.
Yeah, that bottom side of the jungle had not been walked into for a very long time. KFO was freezing the top wave, and there was a pink ward standing in that backside of red, or I guess the bottom left side on this map relative to where red is, in that bush. And it wasn't checked for a very long time, and Apex had just had wards in that jungle almost all game long. It's been basically another quadrant of their own jungle.
Yeah, Apex running the map around. And Echo Fox, they did make a decisive call to try to take that Rift Herald, but weren't quite able to convert. As you can see, Keen going for the Morella Nomicon instead of the Athens, did a lot of damage with that burst. And get another red buff being gifted over to Shrimp.
Yeah, that means that only 3 out of the 12 buffs have gone over to Echo Fox.
Oof.
And it was even in gold for the longest time. It
Yeah.
was just jungle pathing and vision control.
Hard having a difficult time this game. Once again, KFO split pushing on the other side of the map. He's got his stand united in about 30 seconds, plus his teleport, whereas Ray does not. So you can see him waiting on that top side of the map to catch the minion wave with Apollo, though he is now heading towards the bottom. Hard might have been trying to collapse, but Apollo smells that something is off, and Arcane shifts back. Ward in the Tribush spots it out. They might now be trying to collapse in the mid lane. Echo Fox are trying to make a play, but they just cannot. Keen turns onto Froggen, who eats some big damage. Snare is going to hit him.
Snare.
Laser gets some damage. Xpecial, oh, hops back. He's gonna have to take this 4th bullet, but it misses. And Echo Fox rush down the mid lane. They're taking this tier 1.
Yep. True Shot Barrage is going to make an appearance as well. And goes straight through, and Xpecial makes his way out of there. They give up the turret, and now the gold gap closed a little bit. 1,000 now in favor of Apex, but Apex still has Rift Herald. They still have 2 Cloud Drakes, and they've still been having buff control and just vision advantage all game long.
Yeah, very good map movements and jungle pathing out of Shrimp as expected.
And we're about to have these calls also pop. Keith's popped, Apollo's is very close, and Ray also looking for that burst of gold.
About to hit that mid-game spike, and as you can see, the next Drake will be Infernal. Definitely one to fight for, and with 2 Cloud Drakes, Apex will continue to move around with a lot of movement speed, and Infernal on top of that will just let them hit and run Echo Fox's jungle, steal buffs away, look for sneaky turrets before Echo Fox can rotate and get them.
Speaking
and
of
get out.
stealing buffs away, they're actually contesting this blue for one of the first times. Contesting blues is something that teams are doing more and more. Blue buff is now a huge objective.
Froggen actually just recalled. He did complete his Rylai's and has the second upgrade on his Hex Core.
I believe this has about 10 seconds before it comes up. Nope, there it goes.
Yeah, it is going to spawn. Ray's teleport is now back up. The blue smite secure for Shrimp. No chance for Echo Fox to even get close. So Apex continuing to play around the map. Run Echo Fox rampant. Don't give them a chance to catch back up.
Yeah, looking at a buff control here for Apex as a whole, and Apex have taken 10 out of the 13 buffs that have come up. Whereas Echo Fox has only gotten 3, and all 3 of them have been blue buffs, and this is the first one that they've lost. So they have not had control of their jungle, honestly, from level 1.
Apex feign a rotation to the bottom tier 2, pulling Echo Fox down, and then immediately head back towards the mid lane. And Echo Fox have to respond. A little bit of ring around the rosy. Except there are spears involved. Not the best children's game.
I beg to differ.
What kind of childhood did you have?
Don't like to talk about it. The game is better.
Okay. Ray, once again, having a grand old time. Just farming up. He does have his teleport, so we would be able to join up when that Infernal Drake spawns in 90 seconds as Echo Fox. There's safety in numbers, and they group up in the mid lane, though they aren't able to push any objectives. Might try to collapse onto Apollo, though. But he's already well aware and completing his own recall, so...
Yeah, they saw them walk up the middle of mid lane, and then they have both quadrants of Echo Fox's jungle completely warded up. This is basically a Christmas tree right there.
It's actually
And they didn't see
angled,
them
too.
walking it, so.
Yeah. It's angled on the minimap.
Yeah. And
Oh.
then they have no wards, really,
On the Baron.
in their own jungle from Echo Fox. So Echo Fox are not warding at Apex's jungle. They aren't getting that deep vision. They're not pushing forward their ward lines. And they aren't even checking their own jungle because now they're afraid to do so. Checks it with a sweeper and then big. Oh, Keen though
is going to drop to Froggen's Chaos Storm. Special hops out of the way of the 4th bullet. Here comes Stan United. Taunt misses, but Special should go down here. He's got such low health. Hard finally able to chase it down. That's 2 kills for Echo Fox as they rush Apex out of position.
Yep, the engaged team, it's much easier to execute on. They jump forward. Ray doesn't get his TP in. Doesn't even channel it because it was just a quick burst. They are able to catch out Keen. And Hard uses his ultimate as well to cause a lot of chaos.
Aggressive play from Echo Fox evens it up in kills. It's still about a 1,300 gold lead in favor of Apex. Might have gotten a little too complacent there as they got collapsed upon by Echo Fox.
Shrimp looks like he wants to continue to contest these buffs. He's hanging around that red buff.
Yeah.
Infernal's up. Like,
Red buff more important.
his team is like walking back. They're limping back.
It's not about winning the game anymore. It's about making Hard feel bad. Just by stealing every single buff off. Okay, well, maybe he wants to win the game a little bit as Apex rush down the Infernal Drake.
Had to get a new keyboard. It's gonna make Hard pay. Shrimp's like, I'm having a bad day, so you don't get to have a good one. But Ray's been pushing the bot side of the map. There's this gigantic wave down here. KFO's not answering it. KFO's playing to the top side, and now Echo Fox, they're trying to make a pick. They do this all the time when they're behind. They try to make a pick.
Oh, Special's over the wall. He drops a ward right on top of Echo Fox, who are spotted.
And
Two-shot barrage finds 3. Finally, KFO is going to recall and head towards the bottom lane, but the tier 2's already gone.
Yep. Because that Rift Herald buff, it charges up, it hits turrets, it hurts turrets, and he takes it so quickly, and now he's going to go towards that red buff and keep up the jungle control.
No. Poor Ray. Or poor Ray, poor Hard.
Oh, but they're going to get the red buff on the other side, right?
Yeah. Oh, no,
Nope.
they're baiting it.
They're going to bait the red buff.
But there's a ward just outside the pit. They will see Echo Fox if they walk forward, and knowing that, Apex don't take the bait.
And they still...
It's right there, but Hard can't take it.
Nope. So right now, they've only gotten 3 out of the 15 buffs that have
Shrimp
gone through.
literally face-checked the bush where Echo Fox were waiting, not 10 seconds after they left.
Yep. Picks it up as well. So right now, 3 out of the 16 buffs have gone to Fox. absolutely dominant control here
Yeah.
for Apex.
Well, their blue buff is spawning, but they've all just recalled. And Shrimp is on that side of the map.
Yeah. You know, it's actually very easy to predict his pathing. He's going to throw spears. He's going to hang out by where these buffs are spawning.
Oops.
Like, oh, there's nothing here. Let's go check.
Nobody saw that.
He's going to go check over here. There's nothing. Okay. And he's going to throw it.
Sees the blue,
Sees that it doesn't walk towards anybody on the bottom side.
but Echo Fox are there. They're trying to set up an elaborate ruse once again.
All a ruse.
The pink ward is going to spot out the rest of Echo Fox, though.
Yeah. Do have to be careful, though, if you are Apex, because your team is really squishy. You want to split push with Ray. He got that one turret for your team, so he has that one up. And
Continuing to split on the bottom side, now completing the Ravenous Hydra. Oh. But trying to pull the blue out. Here comes Keen. Smite, and again, the buff Steel Heart is going to try to chase him down, but can't quite make it as Ray trades just a bit of damage back and forth with KFO. There's going to be a knock-up. Specials in the front, tanking hits. Shrimp juggles it away. Shrimp dodges, but they turn it around. Ray, joining the fight from the backside, is able to pick up a kill with Keen. Snare finds him, but they can't quite follow up.
And they re-engage here with the speed from Karma. Big
Oh, the spear punch big, but it's not enough to kill him. So much harass, so much range damage. Froggen needs some big damage. There's a taunt onto Shrimp. He finally goes down. It's going to end up being 2 for 1.
Big with the bubble there. Gets Shrimp. And then Keen couldn't go through the choke point anymore. He ate the laser from Froggen. The gravity field on that choke point. Well played from Froggen there. But Apex, this gold lead, honestly, I believe it's going to be a little deceptive for a good while because the 5-on-5 is a little bit superior for Fox. They have all these engage tools. They get to continue to go forward, and X Special played that perfectly. Disengages, tries to hit Froggen. He does not hit Keith. That's what he was aiming for. He was trying to hit Keith out of his ultimate there and didn't quite reach. He was trying to do that. Would have been the icing on the cake there. Still a good ultimate. And then the ultimate, the mantra, Inspire for the Defiance, runs forward. He wants to kill Big. Gravity field comes down. Laser across Keen. Goes after Froggen. Froggen flashes away. And then the taunt bubble. So KFO really put him in place there. But Froggen with the flash away to make sure that he doesn't die.
So I do apologize. That was actually 1 for 1. Ray survived in the back and returns back to that split pushing environment. But as we said earlier, Apex playing the kiting disengage composition. If they can keep Echo Fox at range, they can just play out these long range fights. Though flash diving onto the enemy team doesn't exactly fall under the kiting idea. There goes another blue buff to Apex, continuing to control both sides of the jungle. Infernal Drake is up in 90 seconds, and we're finally seeing Echo Fox try to fight over some of these objectives and push Apex away after a very passive early game.
Shall transcend.
So the pressure is on Echo Fox. Will they take us to a game 3, or are Apex going to continue to dominate the jungle and poke Echo Fox away until they can eventually get a big enough advantage to win the game? 3 Drakes to 0 right now, 4 turrets to 3. Minor advantages, and as you said, they're not really going to manifest themselves too heavily.
Yeah. It's mostly because of the fact that the compositions are the way that they are. Apex, 2 items on Ray. His split push is still not entirely online. It's hard to split push against the Shen with the 2 forms of teleport. And it's just going to come down to the team fights. Both these teams are going to try to win it. And it's those opposite styles, the disengage, then trying to re-engage afterwards, versus the just try to make the fight start and pick somebody off.
Yeah. Echo Fox are trying to find Apex without any vision, but the vision control for Apex has been stellar. The spear, is he trying to steal away the red buff?
It just spawned.
Oh, it's just now spawning. All of Echo Fox are grouped around the pit. Hard is like, come on, we can do it. And it is going to be secured over to Keith. So finally, for the first time in nearly 15, 20 minutes, a red buff is picked up by Echo Fox. Now,
Yeah, I don't think they've
This
ever picked up the
Infernal
red
Drake.
buff.
Oh, and Hard
Oh,
goes
wait.
into the back. Ray trying to
Delivers
do some
KFO.
damage to him. KFO gets dropped in as well. Special is soaking so much damage, and he's being healed right back up with Hard already dead. That means Echo Fox are trying to back away. Spear is going to be dodged. Shrimp is going to leap onto Big, but doesn't have enough. Keen does, though. That's 2 kills for Apex.
And that's going to be 2 Infernal Drakes going over to Apex. 2 Cloud, 2 Infernal. Huge play there by Ray, honestly, with the Grand Challenge, getting it off, and it was a huge duration there, too.
Yeah.
That healed up and prevented all the damage from Froggen that was coming through. They could stand there and stand their ground and fight. And Apex, they turn their eyes towards that Baron. The TP comes through from Ray.
Yeah, and he's going to join in the old-fashioned way, trying to burn through its health so quickly.
Fox,
There goes the curtain call. Xpecial's going to have to soak this last bullet. 3 of them find Apollo. Xpecial is going to. KFO not going to go for the hero play. He's stunned up. Suddenly he's got nowhere to go. Ray dodges the gravity field. Does he have enough? Rocks the vital. No! Might have overextended, but the blue spawns! Oh no, yet another neutral buff. And Apex, 4 elemental drakes to 0. 4 turrets to 3. They pick up the Baron. Here's that fight that starts it all off once again.
Hard, gets the ultimate, goes into the back line. That's the butt vital. Then the side vital. Hits him up, gets the top vital, and yeah, then he dies. So that's a long duration. Look at Xpecial just getting so much healing there. And that prevents him going down. So they don't trade 1 for 1 there. They have to dedicate too much time to trying to get through Xpecial. And then they get picked off, and they lose both sides of the map's neutral objective.
Apex once again in complete control of this game.
I love that after that, Keith is like, man, that healing, Executioner's calling time.
Oh yeah, he just picks it up.
For Fiora, right?
I mean, theoretically, he could damage the whole team if he gets a good grenade.
But it's just hilarious, because that's what he was thinking is just, man, that really sucked. That healing. All right, let's just do this. Let's go. We don't have an Ignite. We don't have a Morellonomicon. And he also didn't go for the armor penetration build, so his ultimate is actually not that potent. People need to be really low for him to have them feel the effects of it. The armor penetration build is much easier to pull off.
This is a huge minion wave. Luckily, Echo Fox have got a healthy amount of wave clear. And Apex decide not to risk it. Instead, they opt into the standard split push, sending Ray towards the mid lane, despite the fact that he has no teleport. So Apex continuing to control the jungle. With the double Cloud Drakes, we're going to expect them to rotate back and forth between these 2 lanes, as now they collapse on the mid tier 2. Hard eats some damage. And the turret will drop rather quickly for Apex. 31 minutes in, 6 turrets to 3. They've still got the Baron buff for another minute and a half or so. Need to break an inhibitor, though. I like how Shrimp recalled right next to the red buff. This is my home. I live in the enemy red buff.
Pretty much
Another
does.
neutral objective secured by Apex. Feel like a broken record.
Yeah. Checking it again, I believe they have 18 out of the 22 buffs. So absolute jungle control. And for contrast, that means that Fox has only had 4 out of 22 buffs that have spawned. That's not including Drakes. That's not including Rift Herald. That's not including Baron. Because you could add another 6 on there and say, hey, they've only had 4 out of the 28.
Not great odds. I don't think even Han Solo would take those odds.
Never tell him the odds, though. That's the
However-
first mistake. He wouldn't take any odds because he told him.
Oh, yeah. Well, there's a mistake. Ray split pushing in the top lane while Apex group up in the mid and top side of the jungle. Still have Baron for about 7 seconds or so. So they're going to get this minion wave in, but it should be cleared relatively quickly by Echo Fox.
Ray still split pushing and still has Rift Herald buff. Of course, since the changes to Rift Herald, no longer overwrites your Baron buff or gets overwritten by the Baron buff, which was how it was before, but just such short duration. So now the Rift Herald still persists. And another.
Yep. So Apex in these past 2 games We said it at the beginning of the day. They've had the luxury of being able to put all of their eggs in the Ray basket in Game 1 and now again in Game 2. He's even in CS with KFO, but he's allowed to freely split push and join up in team fights to pretty big effect. Echo Fox don't seem like they're in a position to prevent Ray from getting off of the ground. And now with his teleport ready, and Mountain Drake spawning in a minute, he could look to Apex continue to try to control the neutral objective.
Yeah, it's been really rough for Echo Fox. They were even. They started losing control of their jungle. And Hard, I mean, he's really squishy still. The Hecarim went for the Frozen Heart, got the Sheen, and had the the Spectre's Cowl as well. So his build is going to take a long time to get to where he needs it to be tanky and absorb enough damage. Whereas Fox as a whole, like, they had opportunities. KFO, stand united. Ray sometimes doesn't have that TP. You should be forcing cross-map plays, but it's so difficult to do so, and you're seeing Keen just chunk out Keith.
Yeah.
Oof. Just all that damage he has.
Yeah, we said it might take a while before we start to see that gold lead manifest itself. Well, we've reached that point.
It's enough of a gold lead. When it's about 3,000, 4,000, it really wasn't a huge deal because it was just so squishy and you can eliminate that gold so quickly with an engage.
Keen just secured the blue buff that spawned for Echo Fox. And now Mountain Drake is spawning. This is Drake number 5 for Apex. Echo Fox are trying to sit back and defend, finally reclaiming their jungle on the blue side, but the buff is already gone. Drake's on the other side of the map. They're going to get some vision closer to the Baron as it spawns in 75 seconds. But Apex are already in and out of that side of the map. They've got plenty of time to recall and try to reclaim that vision.
So I started adding the Baron and Rift Herald and Drakes to my to it.
What's it up to now?
It's Echo Fox have only received out of the 30 buffs that have been on the map, they have received 4.
Wow.
Yes.
For every 1 buff they get, Apex gets 7. Technically 7.5, but you can't really get half a buff.
I believe it's a little bit less than that because it's 26 on the other side.
You are correct.
Regardless. That's the thing. Never do math on stream.
Yep.
Never do math on stream.
I thought it was 4 of 30, not 4. Well, yeah, I guess it's 4 versus 26.
Yeah.
So it's about 6.5 per 1. But Elder Drake going to be up in about 5 or 6 minutes. The do or die buff. Apex will do 35% reduced damage to it.
Yeah. Apex will also do the Baron as soon as it comes up here.
Yep.
Or at least try to. Ray is split pushing. Ray off on the side, making sure that he has a way to teleport in. And they're just chunking out hard. Keen has been doing a fantastic job on this. This is why you build Karma without Athenes, by the way.
So much damage.
When you're support, knock yourself out. You can get Ardent Sensor, you can get Athenes. It's great. Mid lane, though, just get the damage. It scales so well with the mantra.
Apex currently grouping up in the mid lane. Ray might be looking to flank from
Yeah,
behind.
Ray's
Hard
just
gets
walking.
destroyed before he can onslaught out. Ray is in the back. There's a stand united, but Ray dodges all of the CC and is continuing to dance around this fight. Dance circles around Echo Fox as he picks up 1, 2, 3 kills. KFO separated from the team. He looks for Froggen, but doesn't quite find it.
And Froggen left alive, the sole survivor now for Echo Fox. 4 for 1. And Apex, they could turn onto the Baron, but they could also just barrel down the mid lane, but they're not going to catch that wave. It's not pushing up by itself just yet. So they're going to turn onto this Baron. They're going to take that. Absolutely incredible so far from Apex. They're just allowing their composition to scale.
Yeah. They're playing very strong. Now pushing down this Baron. No chance for Echo Fox to fight it. It is secured. Oh, and Nick Special just spawned. Did he get it? He did. He does have the Baron buff. All 5 members of Apex with that Baron buff for the next few minutes. Elder Drake will spawn near the end of that. And Ray still has his teleport.
Yeah. They just blow hard up. The Hecarim not that tanky. He has some armor, but that was mostly magic damage coming through, and he doesn't have his Spirit Visage yet, just that Spectre's Cowl. Ray charges the backline, kills Keith and Big, so just wrecks the bottom lane, and KFO just tries to peel, and Froggen's the only one left, and that has to be frustrating for him. Both games, he's had amazing score lines, amazing damage contribution, and it just means nothing.
Another red buff being secured by Apex. Ray. As the minions will be cleared out by Echo Fox. The Baron Siege, though, has got plenty of time to whittle down this inhibitor turret. Ray is missing his minions on the bottom side. Might take a little while before that wave eventually catches it, so he will have to group up with his team, if not looking for a pick. 38 minutes in, Apex, they've had control of the game for the past 10 minutes or so, and the poke that they deal is so strong.
Yeah, they have the poke. You have to, when you engage with this composition that Fox has, you are dedicated, you are committed, you have to be committed. And Apex now just have the gold lead that they can kite backwards and they can just make it so that you are punished for that move that you made. And now with this Baron buff, they're just going to take all of the base they can.
Yeah, they are prepping a wave in the bot lane as well. A couple of pings going down. They are well aware. Curtain call. Bullet number 1 misses, and the rest are canceled. He's looking for the refunded cooldown as Elder Drake is spawning in 90 seconds. A very big objective for Apex. And with a large minion wave in the bottom lane and Baron for another minute and a half, minute and 45 seconds, Apex are still in control, systematically cleaning up Echo Fox's base.
And Shrimp is taking a blue buff. Like, meanwhile, while everybody's pushing bottom lane, oh no, he actually leaps away from it. He doesn't take it.
He does have the buff.
Oh, he took it.
He left the Sentinel.
That's enough.
Even more denial. And Apex will escort this minion wave down. A lot of it gets cleared, but Ray harassing the rest of Echo Fox out of the way. And with Echo Fox backed up, there's no one to defend this last third inhibitor turret. Despite all 5 members of Echo Fox being up with a hard engaged composition, they cannot find a way into Apex's team and turn this around. As Apex bringing minions in from all 3 lanes. The first of the super minions still with Baron buff will get in. Keen is going to Zonius. They're going to try to fight. It's do or die. And Ray will get into the back line. He's going to be locked up by Froggen, who's kiting on the far side. Meanwhile, KFO in the front is taking a lot of hits. There's the curtain call off cooldown, but Special is already prepped to block some of these bullets. Oh, who's the 4th one going to hit? It's going to hit Keen. However, despite the Baron buff still lasting for a few seconds,
I mean, the last game ended because of the minions. It may happen again here. All 3 inhibitors down. Here comes the TP from Ray.
Yeah, he's caught instantly by the taunt, but Nexus turret number 1 has fallen. Apollo's going to drop Nexus turret 2 while Ray skirmishes with KFO. He gets the kill and gets out. Shrimp in the back. KFO gets his onslaught, but it's not enough. They get 1 kill onto Keen. Big will drop. Ray drops the riposte, and Froggen will fall. Apex are 4 versus 1. They're going to clean up the Nexus and take this series against Echo Fox 2-0.
And Apex moved to 4-4. And have themselves a 500 record right now.
Yeah.
They're trying to hit that second half of the standings, move up in it, and hit that top 5. Right now, Apex, they had a great start. Then they slowed down a bit. Then they started splitting weeks.